This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, I'm Sabrina Brown. Thank you for joining us. The way forward for the city of Freeport was the topic of discussion at a public forum hosted by the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce at the Pelican Bay Resort last evening. Chamber officials taking a closer look at the Hawksbill Creek Agreement and noting what it will take to sustain growth and development in Grand Bahama. Real property tax, capital gains, and income tax exemptions under the Hawksbill Creek Agreement are set to expire in August of 2015. Chamber officials believe it's crucial that these exemptions are extended through the end of the agreement in 2054. They say failure to do so could result in a loss of government revenue and create more hardship for the business community.
Additional taxes will result in a loss of local and foreign business and will place already struggling property owners underwater. The intended investment benefit of the last 22-year extension of the exemptions was lost due to Port Authority and PGL's divestments, ownership disputes, hurricanes, and the recession. But on the flip side, an extension of the exemptions will maintain a competitive edge over regional competition for foreign direct investment, resulting in increased development potential and more government revenue.
Director Dylan Knowles says there are some additional conditions that the Chamber believes are detracting from the development of the island.
Banking, the bureaucratic requirements and high cost in comparison to regional competitors impedes both domestic and foreign investment. We see this every day. The legal system is also an impediment. Extended court schedules, frivolous legal actions, excessive and unnecessary use of the legal system for regulation, licensing, and banking, when these actions should be open and transparent to applicants and investors.
Knowles says there are currently some 50,000 residents on Grand Bahama who contribute a net $100 million to the Treasury annually. He says if allowed to grow, the island can become a major contributor to the country.
If 50,000 residents are producing $100 million worth of tax benefit to the Treasury, 300,000 residents surely could produce $500 million in tax revenue to the public treasury. And if you put that in context, the intended take from VAT over the entire country is only $300 million.
A Grand Bahama-based businessman and licensee believes there is no need for alarm or panic as it relates to the Chamber's vision paper, noting that the document is nothing more than findings and recommendations. The president of Creative Works Limited, Peter Adderley, noting that while the Chamber has every right to represent its membership with recommendations, it is important that the GBPA be guided by its rich history, the envied success of the Hawksbill Creek Agreement, and a future that demands focused, creative, and committed leadership. He says a significant portion of the draft shows that the Chamber and GBPA share a strong commitment and agree on key matters that are in the best interest of Grand Bahama Island, including the proven economic success of the Hawksbill Creek Agreement, GBPA's ongoing contributions to education, medical care, global promotions, and a strong and productive relationship with the government of the Bahamas. The Grand Bahama Port Authority has finalized the date for the VAT Readiness Training Seminar for its licensees in Freeport. Sessions will commence on Tuesday, October 14th and continue through Friday, October 17th at the Pelican Bay Resort. Executives of the Grand Bahama Port Authority Limited say attendees will receive valuable information and training from members of the VAT unit regarding a myriad of topics linked to the implementation of VAT. The government plans to introduce value-added tax throughout the country at a rate of 7.5% effective January 1st. In other news, it's another first for Grand Bahama as a young Bahamian businessman lands a major contract. This taking place as the company introduces a brand new product for the first time on Grand Bahama. Joan Davis-Roll reports.
A number of businesses in the CR Shopping Plaza in Lucaya impacted by a major project. The Bahama Striping Group of companies has a contract to resurface the parking lot at the Lucaya Shopping Center. President of the company is a 28-year-old Bahamian entrepreneur, Ontario Mitchell, who's excited about this historic project.
What we're doing now is placing on a product called Rejuveseal, which is asphalt rejuvenator. What you see is we actually applying it to preserve the life of this particular parking lot. Okay. This particular project, Mr. Franklin Butler, after I explained to him what the product does, and he told me that this is something that he actually wanted done on his parking lot. So that's one of the reasons why you see us here doing this. For this actually our first Rejuveseal job. Mr. Butler has always been a supporter of the company. And once I told him what the product is and what it does, he was sold on it.
This young CEO says this temporary inconvenience for business owners has resulted in some employment opportunities for Grand Bahamians.
I have 10 local Freeport guys working on the project with me.
And that's your overall goal, to make sure that it not only train persons locally and empower them locally, but also to generate some economic benefit for them as well? Yeah,
definitely. One of the things what we did was we select an area in Sea Grape. And we went down there and actually applied a cold patch product. But we had local guys come around, and we actually showed them how the process is in reference to cutting the hole out, putting the asphalt product in, tamping the first level down, and applying the second layer on it to get a better finish.
Texas-based manufacturers of this new eco-friendly material is also on Grand Bahama to provide technical support and training. President Jason Keller.
It's a complex hydrocarbon mixture of 3 major components. It's got a coal tar pitch in it, an aromatic distillate, and an aromatic solvent. And what it basically does is once it hits the asphalt, it makes a chemical reaction with the asphalt, and it opens it up and it allows the distillate to penetrate down in. And then as the material cures out, there's a fine microfilm of coal tar pitch that remains on the surface, and it actually becomes an integral part of the asphalt.
The cost of the project in the low 6 figures. Joan Davis-Roll, ZNS Network News.
A 38-year-old man is detained in hospital in stable condition following a stabbing incident in 8 Mile Rock. Police are reporting that shortly after 5 p.m. yesterday, the man was walking along the Pine Forest area when he was stabbed about the body by a man who is known to him. He was taken to hospital by ambulance, and the search continues for his alleged attacker. This is Public Service Week, and here on Grand Bahama, special recognition is being given to those who continue to give top service in the various government agencies. A luncheon to recognize a group of retired officers was one of many events taking place in honor of Public Service Week. Natalie Martinborough has the story.
18 public officers have retired after they have each spent at least 2 decades in the public service. These retirees represent the Ministry of Education, the Auditor General's Department, Road Traffic, the Post Office, the Ministry of Works, the Police Force, and the Ministry for Grand Bahama. They were all showered with accolades from colleagues in the service, as well as Minister for Grand Bahama, Dr. Michael Darvo.
As an entrepreneur and someone from the private sector, when I look at the quality of public service and look at what you have given up to be in public service, I sometimes wonder why the government of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas is not paying a closer attention to what we have in public service.
Dr. Darvo says while the retirees represent the best of the public service, he is well aware that there are those who fall short. Moving forward, he says, more will be expected of this important group that plays a leading role in national development.
The truth be told, there's still some rotten apples in the public service who are giving all of us a bad name. It's there, and that's a reality. And the general public always gives a pushback when they're confronted with them. Generally speaking, public servants throughout this country are doing an excellent job. I urge you all to continue to press forward and to uphold a standard of integrity and professionalism while rendering exemplary service in the public service. Ladies and gentlemen, to those retiring public servants.
Part of the accomplishments of the retirees, Minister Davil paid tribute in his own special way, offering a special song to the retired former Undersecretary in his ministry, Dr. Cecil Thurs.
I'll state my case, for which I'm certain. A life that's full, I've traveled each and every highway.
Natalie Martin, ZNS Network News.
Stay with us, there's more news after this. Welcome back. Students of the Lucaya International School getting an opportunity of a lifetime. They recently returned from the 69th session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York. These top students say it was an experience that gave them new insight on international affairs. Megan Shepard reports.
Coach for the Model United Nations team, Cheryl Jennings-Blanchet, says it was an eye-opening experience for the students. She believes all students should have an opportunity to visit the sessions at least once. Members of the LIS group were afforded the trip by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs along with the Rotary Club.
We were selected because we won what's known as the Model United Nations debate, and my team had two questions that were faced before them. One was a question of privacy during the digital age. Their second question that they had to respond to was a question on migration. It was basically immigration itself. Now, my students were representing Tunisia. So when the students come into the debate, they are no longer from Lucaya International School, they are from the country of Tunisia. And they must talk and respond just like delegates and representatives of the United Nations.
These students say they left with a better understanding of how international laws are made and how important it is for countries around the world to come together and combat world issues. The students say they were very impressed by the speech delivered by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Honorable Fred Mitchell.
It was a pleasure to be there and listen to what he had to say, and I thought what he said was very valuable. It was interesting to hear him address crime and illegal immigration and environmental issues for the Bahamas, and to just be in the UN General Assembly and see how the UN works and see all the other delegates in the on the floor taking notes and listening to what he had to say was very valuable.
It was really interesting because he spoke about a lot of interesting things that go on in the Bahamas.
I found it very cool how we can go from the simulation of Model United Nations to the real thing, and you can compare each and you can see the future of what is to come out of Model United Nations.
The students were also able to visit the Bahamas mission while in New York and say they left with a greater sense of Bahamian pride.
I was just very proud to be a Bahamian in New York because the people that were representing our country were just, they had so much knowledge and they knew exactly what they were doing, and it was kind of like a proud moment that I got to be a part of this whole experience.
Top debater Marlena Leonard says not only did the experience change her worldview, but she now has a greater appreciation for our country's leaders.
Minister Fred Mitchell was so amazing with the way that he was representing our country and clearly and eloquently saying what our main problems are and why more people and more countries should be concerned about it. I think it is a very interesting thing, and I would be interested in doing it because it affects more than us. It's a global thing, and it's a positive organization that's working toward peace and just a better world with better human rights.
The students were allowed to listen on 3 speakers in total, and they all agree that the experience has broadened their view on how the world must come together. Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Another group of Grand Bahama-based students excelling overseas, this time in the field of science. Joan Davis-Roll reports.
They were among thousands of participants from around the world that competed for top honors in a special international science competition, pulling off a second-place finish. For Rotarian and SECME Director David Knowles, it was a proud moment as he, along with officials of the Northern Bahama Society of Engineers, commended the youngsters for their outstanding achievements.
The SECME program is a feeder program for our main scholarship program at Kettering University. And this year we have 2 new AIM students going off to Kettering. I think they went up in March, did very well. One placed 5th, I think, and the other one was 7th. The AIM program is named after an acronym for Academically Interested Minds, and it is run by Kettering. It is a 6-week pre-college course that they hold, which was recognized 2 years ago as the #1 pre-college course in the United States.
The level of skill displayed by the Bahamian students, he says, was phenomenal, as he commended another group of high achievers.
The original students we sent off are now employed here and in management positions and hiring students for co-op programs and afterwards at our local companies, industrial companies. So I'd like to recognize this year's 2, Miguel Gibson. And Aaliyah Vilbrun.
Knowles stated that the SECME program continues to grow by leaps and bounds here on Grand Bahama.
And we've created even more engineers for Grand Bahama. This has been a tremendous year for both the SECME program and the AIM program. And first of all, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for your support in this program. Those who participated directly last year have seen how we have increased in size and scope this SECME program. It has become, we've renamed it the SECME Science Fair. We've moved it to a Saturday, and we've brought into the fold the corporate citizens who are not supported through the BSE and all of the families.
Joan Davis-Rowe, ZNS Network News.
The Genesis Academy here in Freeport is expanding its reach as the program continues to help young people turn their lives around. During the month of October, the institution is focusing on career development.
I'm happy to have been asked to share with you today.
They may have behavioral challenges, but Program Shore is designed to give them a second chance. Principal of Genesis Academy, Ricardo Major, vows that he will not give up on the leaders of tomorrow.
Last year was the first year we did the BJC, and we've had one of our students here that got an A, and I'm excited about him. We had a few of them that did get passes in D, but they still passed nonetheless. But it gave them some hope versus the fact that we don't even give them the opportunity. So these children deserve the opportunity like everybody else in every school in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Genesis Academy is also focusing on career development. For the month of October, the students will get an opportunity to experience the work environment.
We're going to go to the police department because I think some of them, if they straighten up, they can be able to do that. We want to get them into 1 or 2 of the technical areas. We hope to visit the container port, and then also we are trying to do 1 or 2 things here at the school ourselves, some plumbing and also some carpentry.
Assistant Director of the Technical Cadet Program, Joe Hall, encouraged the young people to set goals and pursue them.
In life, there are so many things that will come to distract you, and so you must be focused on the things which are before you. Setting goals, like say in math, if you were to get a 60%, the next time you want to set a goal to maybe get 80 or 90. And so your goal must be a progressive one. We want them to know that anything that they do, it must be progressive.
And that's what's making news tonight, but don't go away. Sports is up next with Ricardo Lightborn.
Hey everybody, it's Sports Time. I'm Ricardo Lightborn. Tonight, this one goes out to Pastor Rudy Roberts, who in his right mind believed that the Lakers will go somewhere in the NBA. Rev, stick to what you know. Preaching. St. Paul State celebrating 50 years of holding a 3.5-mile challenge is coming Saturday, October 4th. Coca-Cola is the main sponsor with a 7 a.m. start. The month of October is the height of the road racing season. The king of the road is always looking for a race to compete in. Well, vets like Phil Page and Romeo Seymour will hit the road Saturday from Seahorse Plaza to Taino Beach. The faculty, staff, students, and PTA is planning the 50th anniversary 3.5-mile challenge of St. Paul's College. Renee Russell says it's going to be a super event and showcase the Saints in the right way. That's what Coach Rigby says.
We'll be starting at the Lucayan Shopping Center and ending at Taino Beach. This is the way we're going to start off our 50th anniversary. We're going to start with a blast, and this is how we all beginning with this race we're having here on Saturday.
Sometimes just because we are small, no one knows that we're here. But you know, it's like they say, we're like a sleeping giant, just keep crawling, but people don't know. And so we just having them to come and be a part so they can get to see who we are.
The Run, Walk, Bike-a-thon, and Fun Day is a team effort. Marlene Hanchard says make it a Saturday to remember. Better still, make it a family event that will involve the young and the young at heart.
We want to get the whole family involved. So if you have, we could take a whole family from the youngest of 8 right up to 60 and over. And of course, we'll have a fun day after where we'll have the pig feet and chicken sauce. So we'll just have a blast, and we'll be using the park and just having fun, because we want people to realize that we're a family at St. Paul's, and even though it is a run and a walk and a bike-a-thon, you could have fun doing it.
You can register up at the school until Friday at 6 p.m. or the Bahamian Ting. Late registration 6:30 Saturday morning. And trophies and medals to those top finishers, and you guys need to break out those iron donkeys and go ride on Saturday with the Saints. Well, the Grand Bahama Softball Association playoff action from last night, folks, over there at the Plex, and here we go. The Port Side Flyers earned a spot in the finals with an 18-2 rout of the first-class Gents. Antonio Cooper got the win. The loss goes to Gwen Simon at Pinder. The ladies will start their finals on Friday. Now, the Control Chemical Sweepers and the Rising Couriers in Game 4. Top of the fourth, and the Rising Couriers leading this thing 5-4. Then came the rain last night. Control Chemicals lead that series 2-1. They're going to play that game again tonight. It'll be at 7:30. Now, the Abaco Softball Association men's playoff, the Simple Solution Sharks won that series with the Hopetown Wreckers, taking game 7, 13-6. Demetrius Lightborn and Giovanna Culmer both were 3 for 3 at the plate for RBI debut. Giovanna Culmer gave us some 6 runs on 8 hits and struck out 8 batters. The loss goes to Adrian Biff Henschel. The Sharks will take on the Creta Bulldogs in the finals, which will start on Friday. Now, the ladies' finals look like this. It'll be the Abaco Grocery Diamond Dolls and the Golden Harvest Major Payne. Should be a lot of fun over there in Abaco. Now, the Grand Bahama Volleyball Association on court for you, and here we go. The ladies started the night off at the St. George's Gymnasium with the Angels and the All-Stars on court. The Nesbitt Rental Angels simply defeated the Pleasant All-Stars 25-16, 15-18, 25-10, and some big questions for the All-Stars. On the men's side of things, the defenders, they in turn also defeated the Young Gunners 25-20, 21-25, and 25-18, and they'll play again tonight. Now, you've got the high school side of things. The Oriole Knowles was in the Nesbitt League. BMES juniors over Igmarock, 12-21, 21-14, 15-9. Sunland down the senior girls of Mary Star of the Sea, 12-21, 21-14, and also 19-7. BMES over Igmarock, 21-7 and 21-16. The Canada National got a win. They also were there as well. St. George's beat them 22-10 and 22-20. And they'll play and have a lot of fun tonight. If you see Reverend Rudy Roberts, let him know that the LA Lakers are not going anywhere, and he will not be called the Black Mamba. He will be called the Small Corn Snake. That's a look at sports.
Well, we end our news with this special story tonight. 6th grade students from the Lucaya International School made a stop here at ZNS this morning on a field trip. Some 20 students were taken on a tour of the facility and were able to see firsthand what goes on behind the scenes. Take a look.
In school, we've been learning about communication. I learned about sign language. I learned about sign language. I learned about satellites, and I learned about sign language. In fact, we are here at ZNS today because it's a form of communication. It communicates news to people all over Grand Bahama.
How did you have fun with the radio, and what did you do?
I liked hearing what everybody said.
And Madison?
I liked saying what we liked and what school we go to.
So, Eloise, can you tell us about LIS?
Put the mic on.
Yeah, it stands for the Choir International School. It's on Midshipman and it's really fun. Me and my class came here to learn about communication on a field trip.
Hi, my name is David and I'm reporting here from ZNS.
Everybody there.
Hi. Hi, Mommy. Hi, Daddy.
Well, move over, Rick.
Give that man a job.
Certainly our future leaders. And that's our Northern edition tonight on behalf of the entire team.
I'm Ricardo Lightborn on the way out.
I'm Sabrina Brown staying right here. That's a look at news tonight. Thank you for joining us. Good night.
An intense investigation